Chapter 22 of Fuseborough United We Stand by Arcade Striker JK5. Captain Jack Burns sat in his command chair on the uprights of the Enterprise. He dragged his fingers along the chair's armrests, taking care not to strike any buttons and accidentally trigger a red alert or something along those lines. He glanced around the bridge, taking a moment to reflect. The layout was based heavily on now the bridge sets used in the Star Trek television shows. He sat in his central command seat, navigation stations directly ahead, with a main view screen stretching from bulkhead to bulkhead right in front of navigation stations. His first officer sat to his left, talking with another crew member. Duty stations and consoles encircled the outer perimeter of the bridge, reporting on everything from engineering to weapons to communications. Although there were some differences. For instance, Burns was currently strapped to his chair, a quick-release harness preventing him from being tossed from his chair. Riz was also inside the hull, buried deep several feet under thick armor and force fields. Burns looked to his left, as his first officer, Captain Susanna Pearson. "Colonel Carey, for your thoughts?" he said, half smiling. Susanna glanced at him. "Thus taken, Captain. What will be doing in—" She looked at the main view screen, the timer ticking down the far left corner. 10 minutes. She sighed, her normally shining eyes somewhat dulled. General Plane 24, on Earth. Burns slowly nodded. "I knew, Commander." He went to the view screen. The blue jewel of Earth hung there on the screen. Starbase 1 in the San Francisco shipyards, barely visible on the right side of the screen. "Remember, though, we're EDC. We defend humanity from threats within and without." He motioned to the view screen. "And we got a 2-for-1 deal on that down there." He tapped the side of his head. A small chirp sounded out. He went to his right. "Okay, communications. Contact Repulse at Yokohama. Make sure that their targeting systems are linked to ours." He looked over his shoulder at the duty station directly to the aft of his, in Susanna's chairs. "Tactical, how's Farah doing?" A woman slightly younger than Burns or Susanna looked up from her console. "Primary engine cannon is reading at 100%. Lieutenant Commander Melissa Tang, Chief Tactical Officer for the battleship, reporting." She tapped her screen. "Sending you targeting data to your implant, now." Burns' eyes flashed. He blinked a few times. "Thank you, Commander. Looks like everything's locked and loaded." The communications officer spoke up, hand at his headset. "Captain, both Repulse and Yokohama report their targeting sensors are linked with ours. They're set on their end." Susanna looked over her shoulder. "Lieutenant Commander Chang?" Melissa looked down at her screen, slowly nodding. "Confirmed, Commander. Both our sister ships will fire exactly when we fire, and exactly what we fire at." Burns and Susanna exchanged a look. Burns reached down his shirt and pulled out a small red key. "Ready?" Susanna pulled out a small identical key. "No, but I am prepared, Captain." The two stood and walked around their chairs to the aft section of the bridge. Even as they approached, Melissa and the two other crew members stood, stepped away from her chairs, brought their attention. "The station is ready, sir!" Melissa announced. Burns nodded to her. He and Susanna stood on opposite ends of the wide console, keys in hand. Burns leaned down and typed a code into a keypad in front of him. The console triple beeped, and two small pedestals rose up, keyholes clearly visible in them. The two officers looked to each other. "Ready?" Burns asked. As Susanna's nod, he continued. "All right. 3, 2, 1, now!" Both turned their keys inward. Deep red lights reassessed to the upper parts of the bulkheads started flashing. Burns looked up at the view screen. Sure enough, a large targeting reticle had appeared. He looked down. A small transparent hatch was now open, a large red button now accessible. "Why is it a red button?" he asked, brow furrowing. He looked at Susanna. "I mean, really, like out of a bad movie or something." Susanna slowly looked at him. "Captain, if I may be honest, a solid majority of the people in the Earth Defense Command are big fans of science fiction. Of one franchise in particular."
We need your help."
She waved a hand at the bridge. "I would almost be shocked if it wasn't a big red button." Burns cracked a smile.
"True, Commander, true."
Looked ahead at the main view screen.
"Was heading perpendicular over the target area like a sword of Damocles. A straight shot challenge the barrier. Minimal atmospheric interference. Communications, tell the repulse at Yokohama to form up our flanks. Strike pattern, Olympus. Communications officer, Lieutenant Brack Zane 9. Aye, Captain. Strike pattern, Olympus confirmed. On the main view screen, Earth shifted from the lower left corner to the exact center of the screen, the targeting reticle right over North America. The image expanded until North America took up the entire screen. The suit did once more, finally stopping at the barrier and appeared in the direct center of the screen. When one squinted, it was patient enough. They could see the edges of the barrier creep along, expanding ever so slowly but steadily. Suzanne rubbed her chin. Wonder why it's so slow. A foot an hour. Is that even a literal snail's pace? Burns shook his head. I am not complaining about going too slow, Commander. That fake Celestia wants to be overconfident. Good for us, bad for her. He held up his right hand, fingers close together. Behold my tiny violin. Saint turned from his statue and handed her earpiece. Captain, both repulse at Yokohama confirm strike pattern Olympus and are matching our maneuvers. Burns nodded to him. Thank you, Lieutenant. He sucked in a breath. All right, Commander. T-minus 5 minutes in. A sensor technician spoke up. Lieutenant Burns, we have emergency transport apertures. Lieutenant Hope Rogers looked at her screen. Eyes started back and forth. Looks like 5. No, 6. Burns and Suzanne exchanged a look. Captain, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't all non-essential traffic to Earth currently suspended? Suzanne asked, eyes wide. Burns nodded. You're correct. He straightened up and marched around the tactical console to the command area. He tapped his finger to his right. Commander Zane, Lieutenant Zane, open the channel, all frequencies. Rogers, I need ID on those emergency ships, and I need it now. He waited for acknowledgement from his comms officer before speaking. Unidentified vessels, this is Captain Jack Burns of the ESS Enterprise. This is somewhat a bad time for you two. A male, husky, with a Russian accent cut Burns off. This is Captain Mikhail Popov of Georgy Zirkov. Burns, apologies for not arriving sooner. But we and the Conrad Hauser came as soon as we could. Now, if you will please stop monologuing and let us help. Hoke spoke up. Confirming, sir. The first two are the Zukov and the Hauser. They're exiting the aperture closest to us. She tapped her console, putting it on the screen along with the others. Whirlpools of emerald energy appeared on the view screen around Earth. Bright green grids appearing next to each one. The interior of each grid showed up a close-up of the activity around each transport aperture. A pair of Enterprise battleships emergency for every one. Why is Take It Back from Miracle of Sound playing in my head? A smile formed on Burns' face, eyes lighting up even as a cacophony of voices sounded over the intercom. Enterprise, this is the Yin Sun Sun and Von Richterfallen, here to assist. Simon Boulevard and Nebel, standing by your orders. This is the ESS Maurice de la Fête El Haida. We are here. This is the Excelsior and Pounder 410. That bear's good down. That's it. Yes, the Gregory Pachokman and got you are ready for you. Captain Burns. Burns looked at the bread. You're all here. You all came to help. Look just right. Channels open with them all? As not, he turned to face the view screen. Captains, this is Jack Burns of the Enterprise. I am honored and grateful you all arrived to assist in the defense of Earth. Please link your tactical systems with ours for strike pattern, Olympus. We're going to hit that barrier with everything we got and bring the damn roof down on their heads. Confirmations from the battleships were quickly given. With that, Burns walked back to the main tactical console and stood in front of the main trigger. He glanced down at the button, hand close to it, but not yet over it. In the void of space, the 12 battleships flew along, their thrusters glowing white hot as they moved around in complex maneuvers, forming a circle around the Enterprise, Repulse, and Yokohama. At the bow of each ship, the emitter for their primary energon cannons began glowing bright blue. All 15 hung over Earth, pointing towards the very planet every single crew member had sworn to defend with their lives. Hope spoke more. Captain, all 14 ships are in formation for strike pattern Olympus, and their primary energon cannons are red as green. Burns nodded to her. Thank you. He sucked in a breath.
Goro aside, the timer counting down to the implementation of General Plan 24 counted down. Now at T-minus 90 seconds and counting. He held his hand out, holding it over the button.
We are now T-minus 60 seconds,
he announced, his breath quickening.
30 seconds, 20 seconds, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
He slammed his palm onto the button.
Executing General Plan 24!
Lights on the bridge dimmed. A high-pitched whine sounded out. The image on the view screen zoomed once more on Earth, once more on the barrier. The targeting reticle appeared once more, flashing a bright red. In space, the 15 ships turned slightly. The mirrors on their cannons glowed a blindingly white before a beam of hellfire shot from each simultaneously, crossing the void of space and entering Earth's atmosphere in an instant. The beams converged into a column of energy, striking the top of the dome with all the force of the fist of God. The column strode over the barrier, energy bolts the thickness of sequoias slewing off. Everyone on the bridge stared at the view screen as small windows popped up around the barrier, detailing information and showing graphs or charts. Burns growled.
Come on, do something!
Hull spoke up, excitement creeping into her voice with each word. Captain, if I'm reading this right, she suddenly scowled. Damn it, too much interference for a fire. She slowed up slightly and started tapping her console. Clearing up and... She sucked in a breath. Captain, if I'm reading this right, the barrier's expansion has slowed to almost nothing! Gaston and all small tears sounded from around the bridge. Burns held a hand up and waved them all off.
Stay frosty, everyone. The damn thing's still up.
Lightly, a accented voice came over the intercom.
Captain Burns, this is Commander Monty in main engineering. Power levels are falling all across the board. You have to power down.
Burns shot his head back to his console.
Negative, Commander. That is not happening. We have to keep firing.
Captain, I don't have anywhere else to pull power from. I can't science the laws of physics. Burns glanced at the ceiling.
Commander Monty, we are in a starship built using technology given to us by a species that made the laws of physics their own personal bitch before humans walked upright.
He tapped a finger at the main view screen.
If we lit up for even 1 second, that barrier's gonna reinforce itself, and this will be for nothing.
I don't care if we got pedal bicycles hooked up to the main reactor. That main cannon has to continue firing!
There was a pause. Time seemed to stand still on the bridge. Finally, Monty's voice came over again.
Captain, I got to fund power from life support and gravity generation. Alright, do it!
Burns shouted. He ran back to his command chair, sat down and strapped himself in. He flipped the switch on the armrest and leaned close to the speaker grill.
All hands, this is Commander Burns. Strap yourselves in and try to hold your breath. Power will soon be cut to life support and gravity generation.
He went to his shoulder at tactical console.
Commander, you might have joined me here. It won't be just your hair rising in a few minutes.
Susanna grunted as he quickly walked over and sat down next to Burns. She quickly strapped herself in, but paused for a moment. Captain, I recommend we keep the ventilation system going. That will prevent pockets of carbon dioxide forming.
Burns nodded. All right, Commander.
Press the button on the armrest.
Engineering, can you keep the fans going while life support and gravity are turned down?
Aye, Captain. So let's see power from life support and gravity generation and other systems now! Background noise on the bridge dimmed. Several stations went dark. Everyone rocked slightly in their chairs, even while strapped in.
Burns' arms flopped a bit. Well, better than zero G, he said, scowling.
Monty's voice came over the intercom. Captain, power levels for the main cannon are holding steady, but I can't promise anything. All available power has been rerouted to it. Burns nodded, digested more of a bob.
Thanks, Commander. Lieutenant Singh, contact the other ships. Get me their status. Lieutenant Rogers, keep an eye on that barrier and give me status updates.
Both officers acknowledged him before turning back to their duties. On the main view screen, the barrier wavered. Blue's veins of energy laced their way through it, emanating from where the Arizona beams were striking it. Jane returned to his station. Captain, all sets report they've cut power to non-essential systems and will keep firing as long as possible. Hull spoke up next, somewhat breathless with excitement. Captain, there's massive flux of wastage through the barrier. It's completely stopped growing. If this thing was solid material, it would have shattered by... The view screen brightened and turning bright white. Automatic filters activated, stopping the worst of the brightness. On the screen, the barrier fractured along the energy lines, seeming to blow apart at the seams. Pieces quickly evaporated, disappearing into the ether. The beams continued on, though, striking the ground and blasting right through, carving a hole in the dirt, deepening it through meters of bedrock every second. Silence descended upon the bridge as everyone stared at the view screen. Finally, Jack tapped the button on his armrest.
Main engineering. Cut power to the main cannon. Restore gravity and life support, but be prepared to switch it back at my command.
He waited for acknowledgement before looking to his right.
Zane, contact the other ships and tell them to stand down for now.
He unbuckled his harness and slowly stood up.
Sensors. I need to know my eyes aren't malfunctioning on me. Is the barrier down?
The only sounds for the next few seconds were beeps and small mutterings from Hope as he worked the controls. She let out a sigh. Confirmed, Captain. Barrier has been destroyed. Gas and small tears went up among the bridge personnel. Burns held up his right hand and waved him off.
Hey, keep it frosty, everyone!
His eyes narrowed. Wait a second. Zoom in on the upper left quadrant. Pointing at the view screen.
That gold thing. What is it?
The image on the view screen zoomed in on the smoldering ground, focusing on a small, simmering golden web hanging in midair. A solidified rainbow trailed from it, ending in a couple of feet from the ground. A dozen feet away, a whirlpool of energy swirled about, churning and wavering on its edges. Hope spoke up. The golden web, Captain, has to be the rainbow bridge connecting us with the real Equestria. That other thing appears to be an interdimensional gateway. Similar, but very unstable. I'm getting energy fluctuations all around it.
Bert slowly nodded. I'll give you all three guesses where that one leads. The first two don't count.
He turned to walk back to his chair.
Lieutenant Zane, get me to White House.
President Abernathy, General Hollingsworth, General Lennox stood in the Situation Room, a few feet in front of the main monitor. Captain Burns' head and shoulders dominated the screen.
All readings from all ships say the same thing, Mr. President. The barrier's down and it's not coming back up.
Pause.
Unfortunately, there's something around the Rainbow Bridge blocking it. There's a gateway next to it that I bet a year's pay leads to Neo Equestria.
Lennox nodded, letting out a small breath.
Captain Burns, excellent job.
He finally said, grinning and flashing his thumbs up. Clayton clapped his hands together.
Agreed, General. You and every crew member of the entire task force are to be commended for your work. You saved Earth, potentially every person on this planet. May not be out of the woods yet, but we're definitely more than halfway there.
Burns smiled.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Means a lot. Glanced to the President's right.
General Lennox, orders?
Lennox tapped his chin.
Keep the Enterprise and other battleships in formation until further notice. We don't know if they'll try again. At least we know what it'll take to bring the roof down. I'll contact you within 24 hours. Until then, stay frosty. Over and out.
The two exchanged salutes before Lennox cut the feed. It must have been one big boom. Clayton allowed himself a small smile.
Can't wait to see the footage.
He cleared his throat.
All right, barrier's down. However, there's still a gateway leading to Neo Equestria. Not to mention we're still blocked for directly interacting with the real version.
Lennox clenched his right fist and smacked it into the palm of his left hand.
If both managed to survive getting roasted by the combined output of all 15 of their energon cannons, I don't know of anything else we could throw at them that won't crack the crust.
Hollingsworth pursed his lips.
It's out of our heads and it's Celestia's hooves.
Placed his hands on its hips and shook his head.
I hate feeling helpless like this.
Clayton now smiled and patted his friend on the shoulder.
I think that's a sentiment all three of us share, General.
Lennox looked up, his gaze unfocused as a past wall.
I remember during the last push of 2007, I was on Pluto, and we came under heavy fire from the cons. Octopuds and Stranglehold were leading a bunch of Genericons to get us our position. And one of our Starfire crashes our position. Pilot's alive, but his fire's a wreck. He shook his head and half smiled. This crazy kid gets the idea to salvage one of the warheads for their torpedoes and insert it into a crack in Octopus's outer shell. He slid his hands further. So, Private Zoe Wheeler flies by on her jetpack, and has to sneak around to his side, shove the warhead into that crack before booking it like a bat out of hell, blowing that bastard to a million pieces. All we could do was lay down a cover fire for her.
Clayton smiled, and Hollingsworth seemed a small smile.
I know that young lady quite well, General.
Clayton said. She had a small army of Joes as honorary aunts and uncles. A smile tugged at Lois's mouth. Including you, Mr. President? Yes. Glancing at Clayton out of the corner of his eye. Clayton showed the thumb to his right. And General Hollingsworth. He saw her pat Langs on his shoulder. It's a hard wait, but unavoidable. All we can do is trust in him, and hope for the best, and prepare for the worst.
Chapter 23. Princess Celestia and Queen Celestia cantering around, circling each other. Their horns were wreathed in flames as they fired short blasts of magic from their horns. The blasts either missed as they dodged, or glanced off hastily raised shields. Meanwhile, Optimus Prime and Nemesis Prime stood off a few feet from each other, iron rifles discarded as they swung their energon axes at each other. The blades clashing against each other, sending up bright orange electric bolts with each swing. Nemesis brought his axe up high, sending crashing down on Optimus's head, who was barely able to raise his own axe and block it. Nemesis' optics wavered as he sent all available energy into his right arm. His feet dug furrows into the ground as he leaned forward, raised his free arm, but Optimus grabbed his forearm and squeezed, digging into his armor. The two stood there, stalemating each other. Nemesis growled as he brought his hand close to Optimus's head as possible. Give me your face! Optimus suddenly let go of his hand, while also right-handing his energon axe. He ducked low to the side, catching his opponent off guard and unbalancing him. What chance, fathead? He shoved Nemesis into the back, energon axe extending once more. He turned, brought up his axe, and with one powerful swing, sliced Nemesis' head clean off his body. A geyser of sparks erupted in front of the now smoking hole where Nemesis' head once sat. His body spasmed before toppling forward, landing in a heap. Color washed out of his plating, purple and neon green turning a dull gray. His body jerked once more, then lay still. Optimus turned and looked him over.
I regret having to terminate you, but you gave me no choice. Innocent people would have suffered under your tyranny, Nemesis Prime.
His energon axe retracted once more into his wrist socket, a clenched hand emerging moments later. Queen Celestia flew back and up, taking out her counterpart's field of fire for a moment. Same, she coolly said. I would have honored our agreement had he lived. She looked at Princess Celestia, eyes narrowing. However, it does impress upon me the need to end this now. Princess Celestia tried to Optimus' side. It's done the same thing to me. She spread her wings. Give up, Queen! There's no way for you to match me in the long run. She waved a hoof at the necklace around her neck. This is a special power amplifier. With it, not even the heart of Ponyland can match my magical might. Queen Celestia snored. I can't believe you just gave that away. She lowered her head and fired a pencil-thin beam of magic from the tip of horn. Let me remove that advantage from you. The beam struck Princess Celestia's necklace, specifically the pink jewel embedded in it. The jewel shattered, fragments flying everywhere. A pink mist wafted out from the destroyed centerpiece. Princess Celestia looked up at Queen Celestia and cocked an eyebrow. I can't believe you fell for that. Megan told me about your last encounter with Discord. It all makes sense now. The pink mist grew, expanded and solidified. Limbs emerged from the main mass, along with wings, a neck, and a head. Within seconds, Princess Cadence floated in front of Princess Celestia. She touched all four holes onto the ground. Thanks. She rotated her head around. It was getting claustrophobic in there. She stepped back and carried Princess Celestia's side. Her expression hardened with each step back. I am the Princess of Love, and I don't like to fight. But I've learned recently sometimes there's no choice in the matter. Optimus Prime walked over to Celestia's side, opposite of Cadence.
Celestia, you're outnumbered and outgunned.
He raised both hands, grabbed two halves of his chest, and started opening them.
I call upon you to surrender, now.
Queen Celestia whinnied and pottered to the ground, digging out a smoldering trench in the dirt. All right, clever. I'll give you that. I fell for that far too easily. Still, not insurmountable. I do have backup beyond the late Nemesis Prime. She turned her head around towards Counterline. Bodyguards, to me! Princess Celestia shook her head. Why involve them? You're delaying your defeat by... Her voice trailed off as Caroline's front gate opened.
2 alicorns stepped out. What the Tartarus? Luna and Cadence trotted over to the Queen's side. Their movements were stiff, almost mechanical. Neither of them spoke or made any sound beyond the clip-clopping of their hooves on the ground. They stared straight ahead, neither one blinking. Queen Celestia looked from Luna to Cadence. You spoke earlier about the hot opponent, my inferior counterparts. Luna and Cadence, my Luna and Cadence. Help me with any excess overflow of power. I've accounted for everything. Princess Celestia and Cadence stared at the 3 alicorns, eyes wide and mouth agape. Luna! Celestia shouted. Cadence, can you hear me? Can you respond? She took a few steps forward. Please, speak to me! Say something! Queen Celestia stared at her counterpart, eyes narrowed. Luna and Cadence opposed my actions to save humanity. Even after she was freed from Nightmare Moon, she still opposed me. I had to take drastic actions. I'm not proud of the result, but I'd do it again if I had to. Optimus pointed a shaking finger at Queen Celestia. You monster! He shouted, optic sensors blazing. Princess Celestia slowly closed her eyes, but tears still trailed down her cheeks. I held out hope, even a small sliver that we could reach an agreement. A truce, something to stop the fighting. I held it until now. She opened her eyes. Fire danced inside her as her expression hardened. Now that small sliver is gone. Now I know you are beyond hope, beyond redemption. She dabbed a wing at Queen Celestia. I can't even think of you as Celestia! Queen Celestia grinned. How pathetic. Very well, pathetic princess. Think as ill of me as you want. Hate me for having the will to save others. It makes no difference. She gestures to the 3 opposite of them. Get them. One of the Cadence trotted forward. Luna's legs tensed before she jumped into the air, wings spreading wide, her eyes glowing bright white, and a white beam of magic shot from her horn. Princess Cadence's horn lit up. A translucent blue shield formed over her. Princess Celestia and Optimus. Luna's attack washed over his shield, finally ceasing after a few minutes. That wasn't a physical attack, Cadence muttered. She looked over her shoulder. I'll deal with Luna, Aunt Celestia. You take me out. With that, she jumped into the air and flew up towards Luna. Princess Celestia looked to her left. Optimus, if I may, I was just getting the Matrix out rather quickly. I don't think I could deal with that thing and Princess Cadence too. She looked over her shoulder, down the dirt road that they had traveled. Twilight and the others are coming, she whispered. Queen Celestia started walking forward. Your Tin Man cannot help you, weakling. I shall enjoy melting him into a powder of dross. As for you, I'm going to... A loud boom echoed across the battlefield. Queen Celestia's ears waggled back and forth. Her eyes shrank slightly. What was that? Her head turned as a small black plume of smoke started rising above Camelot. That's coming from the far side. Boom! Queen Celestia shot into the air. Take him out! She shouted to behind her as she soared over Camelot's towers. That's coming from Fort Bulwark. Where the Tartars are they? Her voice trailed off as the far side of Camelot came into view. Fort Bulwark's main wall had entirely blown apart. A small mound of debris were all that remained of it. Several dozens of machines of various designs were advancing upon Fort Bulwark, while ponies and other creatures attacked the disorganized defenders. Ponies and griffins flew about in armor, weapons mounted onto the barrels, occasionally spitting out bullets. One of the vehicles, a tan-colored trench vehicle, would turn on and slowed. Its main gun suddenly elevated, aiming right at Celestia. The top hatch popped open, and a dark-skinned human popped out of it. Pistol has 2-handed grip. He raised it and aimed it at Queen Celestia, fired a laser at her. The main gun also started launching hypersonic railgun darts at her. The dart struck her shield, disintegrating for the sheer kinetic energy. Like last time, the darts pushed her back. Queen Celestia's shield flashed with each impact, the glow now lingering with each hit. Celestia grunted as her shield started wavering, cracking. I spent too much energy in this conflict. Her eyes lit up for a moment. Her mane started to smolder once more. I will end you! I will! Queen Celestia's eyes suddenly crossed. Her legs kicked wildly in the air, and her body spasmed.
She panted as she descended back into the ground. She looked around, eyes darting back and forth. The belly! How? How did they destroy it? Her mane turned from flame to ethereal once more. Queen Celestia's legs wavered, but she managed to remain standing, if barely. Luna! Cadence! To my side! Luna fired a beam of magic at Princess Cadence before spinning around midair, flying back towards Celestia. Cadence, meanwhile, cantered back, keeping herself facing Princess Celestia while backing up towards her queen. Princess Celestia's eyes followed Luna as she descended. Luna! Luna! Please, you had to snap a foot. Whatever that monster did to you, she has to be stopped! Queen Celestia stared ahead, her eyes glassy and unfocused. Her voice was strong as she spoke. She cannot hear you. Only me. Cadence is the same. They opposed me. My plan is to help humanity. Therefore, I had to collect their ways of thinking. Her head wavered back and forth. Kill them! Incinerate their bodies! Scatter their asses to the wind! Luna and Cadence leaned forward. The tips of their horns glowed, and they fired twin beams of expanding magic at Princess Celestia, Cadence, and Optimus Prime. Twin shields sprang up around the trio, right before the beams would have struck them. They watched over the shields, scorching the ground right in front of them. Princess Celestia ground her teeth together. Cadence dug furrows into the dirt with her hooves, but their shields held. A violet spear popped into existence a few meters behind the battle. It disappeared, leaving behind Cadence, Megan, and the bearers of the Elements of Harmony. Megan blinked and gasped as she took in everything. Holy crap! Optimus glanced over his shoulder at the Seven. Perfect timing. He looked down at his torso. He pulled open two panels on his upper chest and pulled out an orange metal spear with off-white handles. There was a cutout in it, showing a shiny blue crystal in the center. Will somebody please start up You've Got to Touch? Optimus pulled the Matrix of Leadership from his chest and held it high. Now, light humanity's darkest hour, he said as he raised it above his head. You've got the touch! Girl, you got the power! He slid his fingers into the holes into the handles and pulled the two halves apart, leaving the crystal inside to float there. Megan looked up. Twilight, remember when I said I couldn't use my power except certain circumstances? Twilight Sparkle failed to glaze. She and the others moved to as close as they dared to Megan. I remember it quite well, Megan. Her horn lit up. The diadem of her element of magic also glowed. Is this one of those circumstances? Megan's eyes turned pale white. A pair of ethereal wings sprouted out from her back. A long horn emerged from her forehead. Rainbowdash looked her over. I'll take that for a yes! The elements of Applejack, Rarity, Fluttershy, Pinkie Pie, and Rainbowdash all lit up. A beam of magic shot from each of them and struck Twilight's crown. Megan raised her right hand and fired her own beam of magic at the crown, enveloping Twilight Sparkle's entire head. The entire area around them brightened as the rainbow of light emerged and shot up into the sky. It curved towards Optimus, enveloping the Matrix of Leadership. A large spear of multicolored light exploded from the Matrix, rapidly expanding over the battlefield and engulfing. Queen Celestia could only watch as it approached her. Time seemed to scald to a crawl. A serpentine creature faded into partial existence in front of Queen Celestia. He twisted around and focused yellow eyes on her. Why, hello, Celestia, Discourse said, waving a lion's bar. Sorry to interrupt. I thought I'd pop my spirit out of the statue for a second to say hi. See how things were going with that whole Ponify 7 billion humans plan you had going. He spun around. Not as well as you thought it would, did it? Queen Celestia stared at him for a moment. Discord? What? No, it doesn't matter. How did this happen? You warned me about that blonde-haired human, about humans in general. I just tried to stop your prophecy before Megan would destroy all that I built up. Discord nodded, grinning. I know, and you bought it. You bought my entire spiel, hook, line, and sinker. He tossed his head back and cackled. I couldn't have written a better script for you to follow, silly. He looked back at her. I almost feel sorry for you. But almost isn't actually being sorry. See you around. He waited there before fancying. Time sped up. The wave of energy slammed into Queen Celestia. Bolts of energy arced along her horn, cracking it and sending chunks of it to the ground. Queen Celestia's wings shriveled up, feathers catching fire before vanishing. Amelia dulled and rusted, breaking apart. Finally, one voice echoed in her ears. Celestia! Celestia, my sister! What have you done? Queen Celestia screamed. Darkness claimed her. The golden caves around the Rainbow Bridge wavered and cracked, failed apart, each segment vanishing. Next to it, the portal to Neo Equestria wavered and rippled, turned in on itself, shrinking until vanishing altogether. For a moment, on that blasted Kentucky plain, silence reigned. For a brief moment, there was peace.